Survival skills are techniques a person may use in a dangerous situation to save themselves and others. These techniques are meant to provide basic necessities for human life: water, food, thermoregulation, shelter, habitat, the ability to think straight, to signal for help, to navigate safely, to avoid unpleasant and possibly fatal interactions with animals and plants, and to cure any incurred injury or ailments. Survival skills are often basic ideas and abilities that ancients invented and used themselves for thousands of years. Outdoor activities such as hiking, backpacking, horseback riding, fishing, and hunting all require basic wilderness survival skills, especially in handling emergency situations. Bushcraft and primitive living are most often self-implemented, but require many of the same skills. First aid. First aid can help a person survive and function with injuries and illnesses that would otherwise kill or incapacitate him/her. Common and dangerous injuries include bites, bone fractures, burns, headache, heart attack, hemorrhage, hypothermia and hypothermia, infection through food, animal contact, or drinking non-potable water, poisoning from consumption of, or contact with, poisonous plants or poisonous fungi, sprains, particularly of the ankle, wounds, which may become infected. The survivor may need to apply the contents of a first aid kit or, if possessing the required knowledge, naturally occurring medicinal plants, immobilize injured limbs, or even transport incapacitated comrades. Shelter. A shelter can range from a natural shelter, such as a cave or a fallen down tree, to an intermediate form of man-made shelter such as a debris hut, a tree pit shelter, or a snow cave, to completely man-made structures such as a tarp, tent, or a longhouse. Fire. Making fire is recognized in the sources as significantly increasing the ability to survive physically and mentally. Lighting a fire without a lighter or matches, for example by using natural flint and steel with tinder, is a frequent subject of both books on survival and in survival courses. There is an emphasis placed on practicing fire-making skills before venturing into the wilderness. Producing fire under adverse conditions has been made much easier by the introduction of tools such as the solar spark lighter and the fire piston. If you have a black powder firearm along, you can sometimes start a fire by ramming tinder down the barrel against the powder charge. Use charred cloth if available. Fire the gun up in the air, run and pick up the cloth and blow it into flame. Have a supply of tinder at hand so the cloth can be placed against it to start the fire. Fire is presented as a tool meeting many survival needs. The heat provided by a fire warms the body, dries wet clothes, disinfects water, and cooks food. Not to be overlooked is the psychological boost and the sense of safety and protection it gives. In the wild, fire can provide a sensation of home, a focal point, in addition to being an essential energy source. Fire may deter wild animals from interfering with a survivor, however wild animals may be attracted to the light and heat of a fire. Water. A human being can survive an average of 3 to 5 days without the intake of water. The issues presented by the need for water dictate that unnecessary water loss by perspiration be avoided in survival situations. The need for water increases with exercise. A typical person will lose minimally 2 to maximally 4 liters of water per day under ordinary conditions, and more in hot, dry, or cold weather. 4 to 6 liters of water or other liquids are generally required each day in the wilderness to avoid dehydration and to keep the body functioning properly. The U.S. Army Survival Manual does not recommend that you drink water only when thirsty, as this leads to underhydrating. Instead, water should be drunk at regular intervals. Other groups recommend rationing water through water discipline. A lack of water causes dehydration, which may result in lethargy, headaches, dizziness, confusion, and eventually death. Even mild dehydration reduces endurance and impairs concentration, which is dangerous in a survival situation where clear thinking is essential. Dark yellow or brown urine is a diagnostic indicator of dehydration. To avoid dehydration, a high priority is typically assigned to locating a supply of drinking water and making provision to render that water as safe as possible. Recent thinking is that boiling or commercial filters are significantly safer than use of chemicals, with the exception of chlorine dioxide. Food, culinary root tubers, fruit, edible mushrooms, edible nuts, edible beans, edible cereals or edible leaves, edible moss, edible cacti and algae can be searched and if needed, prepared. With the exception of leaves, these foods are relatively high in calories, providing some energy to the body. Plants are some of the easiest food sources to find in the jungle, forest or desert because they're stationary and can thus be had without exerting much effort. Skills and equipment necessary to gather animal food in the wild include animal trapping, hunting, fishing. Focusing on survival until rescued by presumed searchers, the Boy Scouts of America especially discourages foraging for wild foods on the grounds that the knowledge and skills needed are unlikely to be possessed by those finding themselves in a wilderness survival situation, making the risks outweigh the benefits. Navigation. Survival situations can often be resolved by finding a way to safety, or a more suitable location to wait for rescue. Types of navigation include celestial navigation, using the sun and the night sky to locate the cardinal directions and to maintain course of travel, using a map, compass or GPS receiver. Dead reckoning, natural navigation, using the condition of surrounding natural objects. Mental preparedness, the mind and its processes are critical to survival. The will to live in a life and death situation often separates those that live and those that do not. Stories of heroic feats of survival by regular people with little or no training but a strong will to live are not uncommon. Among them is Juliane Coep, who was the sole survivor among the 93 passengers when her plane crashed in the jungle of Peru. Situations can be stressful to the level that even trained experts may be mentally affected. To the extent that stress results from testing human limits, the benefits of learning to function under stress and determining those limits may outweigh the downside of stress. There are certain strategies and mental tools that can help people cope better in a survival situation, including focusing on manageable tasks, having a plan B available and recognizing denial. Important survival items. Often survival practitioners will carry with them a survival kit. This consists of various items they deem necessary or useful for short durations in the wilderness. Supplies in a survival kit normally contain items like a sharp knife, matches, a first aid kit, fish hooks, a sewing kit and an LED flashlight. Often these items will have multiple possible uses as space and weight are often at a premium. Survival manuals. A survival manual is a book used as reference in situations where a human's survival is threatened, expected or unexpected. Typically it will cover both preparation and guidance for dealing with eventualities. There are many different types of survival manuals, but most have a section of standard advice. These are sometimes republished for public distribution, for example the SAS Survival Handbook, United States Army Survival Manual and United States Air Force Survival Manual. Common myths. Some survival books promote the universal edibility test. Allegedly, it is possible to distinguish edible foods from toxic ones by a series of progressive exposures to skin and mouth prior to ingestion, with waiting periods and checks for symptoms. However, many experts including Ray Mears and John Cullers reject this method, stating that even a small amount of some potential foods can cause physical discomfort, illness, or death. Many mainstream survival experts have perpetuated the act of drinking urine in times of dehydration. However, the United States Air Force Survival Manual instructs that this technique should never be applied. Several reasons include the high salt content of urine, potential contaminants, and sometimes bacteria growth, even though popular belief is that urine is sterile. See also, Distress Signal, Mini Survival Kit, Survivalism, Woodcraft. References. Pocock, C.C. Bush and Mountain Flying 2nd edition. A comprehensive guide to advanced techniques, procedures and survival. South Africa and USA, Bushair http, www.bushair.co.htm. ISBN A978-0-620-49666-7. External links. The Human Spirit in the Shadow of Death on the Yad Vashem website, Survival at DMOZ, Survival Wiki, the National Outdoor Leadership Shirala Euro Unregistered Trademark S Wilderness Guide, The Classic Handbook, revised and updated, Olson, Larry Dean. Outdoor Survival Skills. Chicago, Illinois, Chicago Review, 1990. Print. ISBN 0-934802-48-3, Churchill, James E. The Basic Essentials of Survival. Morrillville, Indiana, ICS, 1989. Print. Media, the short film Aircrew Survival, Cold Land Survival is available for free download at the Internet Archive. More, the short film Aircrew Survival, Hot Land Survival is available for free download at the Internet Archive. More, the short film Aircrew Survival, Survival Kits, Rafts, Accessories is available for free download at the Internet Archive. More, the short film Aircrew Survival, Survival Medicine is available for free download at the Internet Archive. More, the short film Aircrew Survival, Surviving on Open Water is available for free download at the Internet Archive. More, the short film Aircrew Survival, Survival Signaling is available for free download at the Internet Archive. More, the short film Aircrew Survival, Tropical Survival is available for free download at the Internet Archive. More, the short film Aircrew Survival, The Will to Survive is available for free download at the Internet Archive. More,